Where am I? Oh! I don't remember anything. Who am I?
Games, Brains and Headbanging Life, we're flashing back to the PlayStation 1 for a Resident Evil game. It is Resident Evil Survivor, the light gun shooter video game developed by Tosei and published by Capcom. Released on the PlayStation in Japan on January 27, 2000, Europe in March 31st, 2000, and America, North America, August 30th, 2000. It is a spin-off of the Resident Evil video game series, not canon, just a spin-off. And the first release of the Gun Survivor series. This game was a major difference from the main Resident Evil series, substituting a third-person perspective to a first-person view. The Japanese and European versions of the game were compatible with the Namco GunCon or G-Con 45 light gun, making it one of the first off-rail light gun games, whereas light gun compatibility was removed from the North American release due to shooting games being partially blamed for the motivation of the then-recent Columbian High School Massacre. It was followed by Resident Evil Survivor 2, Code Veronica. Now, I will say this. I have never played this game with a light gun. I've only ever played it with a D-pad.
Yep.
So, as always, things we like, things we don't like, favorite moments, scenes, bits of music. So this is a game that hasn't aged well at all. It's also one I cite as one of the most disappointing Resident Evil games I've ever played, where the excitement did not pay off.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one like only.
Really? I've got three? Well, I'll start with my first one.
Yeah.
And this is more of an at the time kind of thing rather than relevant for now. But at the time, I couldn't get enough of Resident Evil. So, like, this game, a first-person shooter Resident Evil game, I automatically loved it when it was first released. Like, I was one of those, it's not shit, it's not shit, it's not shit, it's Resident Evil. You know? It was more of a time thing, yeah. Go on, do your one then.
My one is, it's Resident Evil. It's got to be good. It's got to be good. That's it.
Which is fair enough, exactly what I'm saying. It is such a, we love Resident Evil, so we're going to love this game regardless.
Yeah.
But all the Resident Evil favourites do show up here. Zombies, Lickers, Mr. X, Tyrant. That's pretty cool. And my last sort of massively positive thing, it's not the worst story, and it kind of does tie into the overall lore of Resident Evil, even though it's non-canon, in a pretty cool way. That's it. That's it. Yeah, things we don't like. I'll start. It is fucking ugly. All the problems, the graphical issues you would have with old games like Resident Evil 1 and 2 are highlighted here worse because it's first person. So everything is up close and all those pixels are fucking there. And the locations are bland and ugly and shit. This is an ugly game. And I went back to play it about a year ago and I couldn't because I was worried I was going to vomit. Just like, oh, so ugly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not played this game for a long time, and when I was doing my research, I come across a video on YouTube called like the 10 worst graphic games ever created, and this was like number 1, and it was just an image of Mr. X walking towards it, and it looked like how can I describe it? Final Fantasy VII when Cloud jumps off the train.
Oh, okay, blocky.
Man. Yeah, yep. Blocky man, and it just. Graphically, it's one of the, I know it was PlayStation 1, and obviously at the time it was impressive, but compared to now, it's just embarrassing.
I don't think it was that impressive, though, even for PlayStation 1. That's the thing. I don't think it was. Because we don't look at Resident Evil 2 from PlayStation 1 and say, that's ugly, do we?
No, that's true.
Infinite handgun ammo. What the fuck? Talking about, mate, the game is so easy thanks to infinite handgun ammo. Well, that's utterly absurd.
Yeah, and again, I think you said it, but the design, it was every area was pretty much the same. It was like all dark and dank, and
corridors and
yeah, it was just nothing exciting. You know, I mean, nothing to stand out. Yeah, it's boring.
And of course, my last one. When you think of Resident Evil, you're not exactly going, "Oh yeah, Resident Evil Survivor" or any of the sequels, are you?
No. My last one is, I mean, Resident Evil is known as a survival horror game.
Yeah.
And during the Resident Evil, every Resident Evil's got a point where you go, "Ooh, that's quite scary." But this game here, nothing at all. Nothing that jumps out at you, nothing that stands out. You just go, "Oh shit, that's quite scary."
Yeah, I'll go with that. Favorite moments, scenes, bits of music. There's nothing. I wrote the very first zombie you meet because you get really excited. And that's before you realise how shit the game is.
I haven't got anything either, but I've got one now, actually, and that's the end credits. So
why?
Because it's the end of the game. It means you ain't got to sit anymore and stare at that crap anymore.
Thing is, it's not even one of those where you're like, a remake would be a good idea, because it would just be, other than being graphically better, Resident Evil doesn't work as... Here's the thing, Resident Evil does work as a first-person game, because Resident Evil 7 has proven it can work as a first-person game. But that was very much a survival horror game. Resident Evil Survivor is a gun game first. That's the important thing. It's about shooting.
When did this come out in the series? Did this come out like after number 1 or number 2 or?
2000. So it came out after Resident Evil 2 and 3.
And it was made by Capcom, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was developed by Tosei, published by Capcom. So Capcom obviously gave them the okay to do it.
What were they thinking, man? Seriously.
Well, I think Resident Evil's popularity, they were just cashing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this uses the graphics of Resident Evil 2 zombies and stuff like that. That's a very important thing. So it's very much using the same engine. By that point, by the year 2000, it was old already. We were entering the Dreamcast.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah.
There you go, Resident Evil Survivor. Hard to say much good about it, but let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?